Hi everybody, so in this video I'm just going to walk you through the instructions for how to successfully navigate the content in your assignments for this week. So I am on our Blackboard course website. If I go over to the course content tab and click there, you will see the content that is labeled week 1. That is the week we are working on right now. At the top of this folder, you will find the video that I'm recording right now, and right below that you will see your week 1 to-do list. So again, every week I'll provide you one of these to-do lists, which just gives you a list of all of the tasks that you need to accomplish that week. So you'll see that your first task this week is completing the bias reflection and implicit association test, which I'll talk about in a minute here. Then I'm asking you to view and read the weekly content and lecture videos for this week. I encourage you to take notes and write down any questions you have every week of this course when you're working through the weekly content, watching the videos, listening to the lectures, even going through the readings. You should always do that, I would say, with a notepad and a pen in your hand. You can take notes on your computer, obviously, but the science behind learning tells us that people actually learn more and retain more information if you write by hand. Fun fact of the day. So I definitely encourage you to take down notes. You will incorporate those into your weekly discussion posts, which we'll talk a little bit about in a minute. But also just to have something tangible to walk away from this class from. I kept all of the notebooks from my college days just because, this is a really cool opportunity as a college student. You have to learn to take classes in areas outside of your major discipline, perhaps. And you'd be surprised how helpful some of this stuff can be in the future. So I encourage taking notes. And then the last 2 bullet points on here are your assignments for the week, which are related to your weekly discussion posts. The first portion of that is writing your educated opinion post by Thursday, February 4th at 11:59 p.m. And the second part of that is writing your your weekly discussion comments, and those are due Saturday, February 6th by 11:59 p.m. So the first thing I'm asking you to do this week is an activity. And I've included in this description here a few questions I'd like you to reflect on. Basically, you're going to be completing something that's called the implicit association test. Some of you may have done these before for other classes or just for your own personal amusement. But basically what this activity is designed to do is just help us gain a little bit of awareness about areas in our lives that we might hold on to some biases. And we might not even be aware that we have biases in some cases. And so this activity is just a good, I think, gentle introduction to get thinking more deeply about this. And as I explained in the instructions here, I strongly encourage you to do some reflection before you actually take the test. And think about these questions that I'm asking and write down your answers. And I'm not asking you to turn these in. This isn't a graded assignment or anything, but it's definitely something that I think is going to get you in the right mindset for the content this week. And it also is something that you might choose to reflect on in your weekly discussion post as well. So the link to the implicit association test is here. If you just click that, I'm asking you to complete at least one of these tests, but you could complete multiple of them if you like. I even think it's a good idea to take the same test a couple of times just to see if your responses vary at all. And after you've completed, I again included a few more just questions for you to reflect on in this little blurb here. So I would do that first. The next thing I'm asking you to view this week is a TED Talk, which is just like a 15-minute video. And this one is by Dr. Jennifer L. Eberhard, who is a social psychologist, and she's going to talk a little bit more about the science behind biases, how we develop them, and also, which I think is even more important, what we can do to address our own biases. The next thing I'm asking you to view is a series of videos that's called Who Me Bias. And these are just 6 little video clips. None of them I think are more than 3 minutes long, so it's really not that much. But I do want you to watch all of them. So starting with this one, Implicit Bias, Peanut Butter Jelly, and Racism, and then just going in the order down here. Click this little blue arrow to get the last one. There you go. So there's 6 of them in total. All in all, it takes about 20 minutes to watch all of them, so nothing too much there either. And then I have a link to a short reading here. And this is just a news report, basically an analysis of an actual study that is referenced in one of the videos in the Who Me Biased series. So I'd like you to go ahead and read through that. Back to Blackboard. I then am asking you to read what is probably one of the most widely read pieces in all of sociology, and it's a chapter in the book titled The Sociological Imagination, which is written by famous sociologist C. Wright Mills. This concept is decades old, but it is, again, one of the most frequently taught pieces and concepts in introductory to sociology and all sociology classes for that matter around the world. As I say down here, the reading itself is a little dense. It's a little academic-y. It's a little whimsical, even, I would say. I really kind of dig it. It's almost like this blend of academic writing and poetry in a way. Mills is a really talented writer. But since it is a little more complex, I included an annotated annotated PDF in here. So basically, I just read through this and I highlighted the portions of it that I think are really important, and I included some extra text to help kind of explain this. So if you just hover your cursor over these highlighted areas, and you can read in these little blurbs below it that pop up that say D. Bartholomew, those are my words or my thoughts, kind of helping break down what otherwise might be a little bit complicated of text here. So you can see I added a lot of extra comments, and I definitely encourage you to read through those, my comments as well, because I think it will help you better understand the piece. The last thing you will see in here are what I call video lectures. So these are basically just me lecturing over slideshows or PowerPoint presentations that I've created that I typically would deliver in a face-to-face class. So if you're someone who really learns well, not just from reading and viewing content, but actually hearing a professor kind of break things down and provide some more examples, make some connections to the weekly content that I've assigned to you, these video lectures will probably be very helpful to you. So definitely give these a look through. There's only a few of them this week. And then also I include my slides as well. So these are the slides that I go over in the lecture videos. I have 2 different slideshows this week, one on understanding bias, the other on the concept of the sociological imagination. So once you've read through this content, watched the videos, etc., you've taken notes, hopefully you're feeling like you've got some good thoughts or information to work with, your assignment is to complete your weekly discussion post. And to access that, I know this seems a little counterintuitive, but you don't click the discussion forum, you have to click groups. And the reason you have to click groups is because there's 55 of you in this class, and realistically, I know wouldn't read all 54 other discussion posts every week. So I broke you up into groups of 8 to 7 students. So I do expect you to read all of the discussion posts within your group. That's part of your homework for the week. That's part of the points you earn for your weekly discussion is whether or not you actually clicked and opened everyone's discussion posts. And yes, I do go in and look at the metrics to make sure that you are opening them, and I can even see how long you spend opening them. So please just do the work. You know, you get what out of this class what you put into that. I'll say that all the time. And students always tell me how much they enjoy learning and reading about other students' perspectives. And these discussion groups are really where the vast majority of your learning in this course are going to take place. So if you just skim through these things and don't read other people's posts and really don't think about what you're writing and just try and get through with it as quickly as you can, you're really just cheating yourself. You know, you're paying money to take this class, or someone's paying money for you to take this class. So I hope you have a sense of pride in your education and really try and learn from this course, because I say this to everyone, I think sociology is valuable no matter what career you're looking to go into, no matter what your goals are in life, whether they be personal or professional. Sociology really can be beneficial to you in many ways. So to access your discussion board for the week, you'll click on whichever group you got assigned to. You will only be able to click on the group that you are assigned to, so this will make more sense. Then you'll click down here where it says group discussion board. And below the discussion form for your introduction discussion post, you will see your week 1 discussion post. And in this discussion forum, I incorporated 4 different questions that all relate to the content that I asked you to read and view for this week. And for your educated opinion post, I'm asking that you choose at least 2 of these 4 questions to address and reflect upon. You can add things in addition to that. If there is something that stood out to you in the weekly content that I'm not specifically asking you to address in these questions, by all means, add to your educated opinion post. But I do want to make sure that you address at least 2 of these questions. You can address 3 or all 4 if you'd like, but I'm asking, again, remember in the 5 C's and the guidelines and document for your posts, I ask that your educated opinion post be 300 words, right? You can definitely go over that. I wouldn't try and go too far over that because remember, other people have to read your post as well. And if you write too much, people are less likely to read all of it. So I try and keep it around 300 to 400 words. And be sure to follow and cover the 5 C's in both your EOP and in your comments. Remember, you have to comment on 2 other students' EOPs by Saturday, and your EOP itself is due on Thursday. So every week, your weekly discussion, educated opinion posts are due on Thursday by 11:59 p.m. Your comments on at least 2 other students' educated opinion posts are also due at 11:59 p.m., but on Saturday of every week. Again, follow the 5 C's, review the guideline and grading rubrics document that I provided you so you know exactly what I'm looking for. Make sure you're getting the right word count. Make sure your content is covering what it's supposed to. Make sure your educated opinion posts and your comments are credible, including distinct citations from the weekly content. Make sure you're making the required contributions, including posting questions in your educated opinion posts to further discussion, as well as reading all of the other posts in your group and commenting on at least 2 other posts. And then clarity. Make sure you're writing clearly, using good punctuation and grammar, things of that sort. So I hope you enjoy working through this content this week. I hope you found it to be equally challenging and thought-provoking, and I'm really looking forward to reading some of your discussion posts. As always, reach out to me during my office hours or via email if you have any questions.